what Scott was not accurate about, which kind of happens around the table sometimes, although I know you want to be.
Don't touch me.
I can't touch you.
All right, I'm going to keep your hands to yourselves at the table.
All right, but one of the things Scott was not accurate
For sure. And y'all gonna see how Scott Jennings, how he was not happy because he was being confronted with the fact. You know what I mean? I just feel sorry for him because he have to come on CNN and he has to say sometimes something that is not true, but he just have to keep saying it because he's a Republican and he just have to follow the script. You know what I mean? But on this day, the two hosts, you know what? Let's go watch this together. Then we are going to unpack it on the other side. Watch this to the fullest.
The administration that oversaw the huge inflation in the first
Except that
place.
all of the things that Trump is promising now in his economic agenda will make inflation worse.
Cheaper energy?
First
Make
of all,
it worse?
oil production is at an all-time high. We are producing more oil per day in this country than any country has
I think energy
in
producers
history.
would tell you the government is put a boot on their
Trump's
From a
own
factual
donors in the
perspective,
fossil
isn't she
fuel
right
industry.
about that we are producing more oil now than even when Trump was in office?
Well, it's more.
That's a fact.
It's about more than just oil production. There's all sorts of refining capacity,
we're producing
pipeline
record
capacity.
high levels of natural gas.
Look,
We're producing record high levels.
I know your favorite pastime is to come out here and talk over me, but just please.
I care about the facts. I care about the facts.
The reality is, if you talk to anybody in the energy business, if you talk to anybody in
he says things that are wrong, and I interrupt him and correct him because our job is to inform our
I'll just wait.
Hang on one second.
Scott, no, it's fine. Go ahead.
Finish
No.
your point.
Look, I play this game every time we come out here. The legitimate answer is he's going to do stuff on energy. He's going to take regulatory shackles off of the energy producers. If you talk to anybody in the energy business who produces, refines, deals with pipelines, this administration, Democrats in Congress, have put shackles on what they can do.
Why is energy production at a record high?
If you take the shackles off, the prices will go down.
No,
It should help.
I guess what I'm wondering is why won't you answer the point that she's making, which is that if it's so bad, why is energy production
I didn't dispute
now,
it.
higher than it was under Trump? And on top of that, Trump was asked a very simple question. If you promised the American people that you'd bring prices down and then you failed to do that, is that not a problem? Is that something that the American people will judge him on?
If he brings energy prices down, and if he extends the tax cuts, and he generally implements an economic climate in which incomes can rise and certain things do come down, and he tells the American people the truth about what he's doing the entire time, I think it will be okay.
Y'all can see that Scott Jennings is like he is not in the mood for that debate at all. You know what I mean? Because anytime this lady, Catherine, anytime she comes on board, especially to come and debate against Scott Jennings, she always come with the fact. And I feel sorry for Scott because he got a student message. You know what I mean? He himself knows that what he is talking about, he got no backings to it. That's why you'll see is either he trying to change the topic or get irritated. But yeah, well, let's watch this next clip
Actually, no, of course it's not. Because you know what? Do you know what? Do you know why did we put? Why did that happen? But why did that happen? So let's be honest.
Because he was paying off the Green Lobby that helped put him in office.
No, the reason it happened is
Can we talk about what
the reason it happened is because the reason it happened is because we had a once in 100-year pandemic, and you know what happened across the globe?
Coming out of.
You know what happened across the globe? You had inflation rise across the globe. You know who addressed that issue? Joe Biden addressed that issue. And you know who is the reason why we have the inflation that we have? And one of the things that Scott was again right about is Democrats didn't label it what it was. That's Trumpflation.
The Dems have been making this argument for 18 months, which is that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were the least bad of the bad world leaders. That was effectively their argument.
Instead of relitigating all of this, and actually I kind of disagree with everyone here. I think Biden's the bad stuff, but there were also a lot of other things that happened. I would love to talk about what Trump plans to do about this and how not only will he fail at his promise at bringing grocery prices down, he will probably drive them up higher for a number of reasons. One of which is that he wants to deport most of our farm labor force. Not only the people who are here who are without authorization, people who are undocumented, but actually we have a lot of workers here who are on visas, temporary, basically seasonal agricultural visas who are here legally, a visa program he wants to end. He wants to deport lots of people from other parts of the food processing system, people who work in meat packing plants, again, people who are here legally and who are not here legally. Beyond that, he wants to raise tariffs on the food that we bring in from other countries. We get 90% of our avocados from Mexico and something like 2/3 of our fresh tomatoes. These things will drive prices up. So it's not only a matter of it's hard to get them back down. It's easy to get them up higher.
We had 4 years of President Trump, and we had the best of our lifetimes.
That's not true.
And we had 4 years of Joe Biden.
That's not true. I think no, because we can go back. Look, you can go to George Bush 1, left a terrible economy. Bill Clinton fixed it. You can go to George Bush 2. What are we laughing about? I mean, everybody knows this is not. You can talk about any economic indicator, from job growth to job creation to wage growth.
We're going to count the bounce back jobs.
But Jeff, I'm going to once again ask you to respond directly to the facts that you put on the table, which is explain to me how a key pillar of Trump's economic policy are tariffs. Let's just start there. Explain to me how that helps average working people who are going to the grocery store and they want to know why the price of their avocados is doubling.
Well, of course, the president and his entire team have talked about during the campaign and since the transition started, these are all negotiating postures, right? Tariffs are an opportunity to say to Canada, to say to Mexico, to say to China, to say to all our partners in the EU, you can't put 100% tariff on our cars or we're going to start putting a tariff on your cars. Mexico, if you allow Chinese vehicles to come in under the USMCA and you try to do that, we're going to put tariffs on your vehicles. Canada, if you don't shut your border down, we're going to put tariffs. The president will sit and negotiate with all of these, as he did during his first term. There's a record
tariffs
here.
Are going to be a way to raise money to pay for things. So it cannot be both. He's talked about across-the-board tariffs. He said that they would be used to pay for things. So there are going to be tariffs.
Yes, strategically.
For sure. It's not just going to be a negotiating tactic. There are going to be tariffs.
What's it worth to anybody to actually get these other countries, especially Mexico, to get their attention on immigration and drugs and everything else? What's it worth?
It's already on that.
For you, you're not willing to pay $a quarter more for an avocado to fix this.
We already have the cooperation of the Mexican government. You refuse to acknowledge.
After Trump
and
made his threat.
No, a year ago, the Mexican government invested more.
1 second.
A year ago, the Mexican government deployed a lot more resources to their own southern border and have intercepted migrants on their way. Why are you shaking your head? This is the absolute truth. This is why.
It's a mess.
That's why border crossings are down 75%. They're about what they were when Trump was in office.
It's a mess.
I don't care if you say it's a mess.
People came in over the last 4 years.
Cooperating.
Let me just stop here.
Punishing our own consumers is not going to help Mexico cooperate.
Avocado toast. It's a huge problem.
Scott, I want us to address the facts that are on the table, right? Okay. So, first of all, your question is a good one. What is it to the American people to pay more to address the border issue? Why isn't Trump transparent about that? Why won't he tell the American people, you know what? We want to address the immigration issue, so deportations are going to cost you more, tariffs are going to cost you more. Why isn't he transparent about that?
Good question. I think there's a legitimate dispute about the dystopian fan fiction about, what the havoc that deportations is going to cause. I don't remember a massive spike in grocery prices during the Obama administration when they sent, 5+ million people out of the country.
That's not what they're talking about.
And so I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of fear mongering.
If Trump deports what Obama deported, he would be failing by his own metric.
Correct. That's not what he's saying.
But the argument today is that if he does any kind of deportations, even the 1.6 million people who already have deportation orders, that it's like, oh my God,
that's not the argument. The argument that I have is that, okay, if you want to deport individuals who committed a crime, I don't think you're going to have anybody who raises a hand and say you should not. Just one second here, okay? So that actually is sound policy. But when you talk about people like Tom Herman saying we're going to keep families together by not only deporting those individuals who are of legal status, but those individuals who are of illegal status as well, so we can keep a family together, you're talking about deporting not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million people. They're talking about deporting dozens of millions of individuals from this country. That has a drastic impact on our labor force. And if you don't acknowledge that, then your head is in the sand.
And if you look at what...
Yes, my friends, y'all can see that Bakri Sellers and Catherine, they were both ready for this debate. They were ready for Scott Jennings and the other guy. You know what I mean? I just feel sorry for Scott. Why? Because he got to send a message as a Republican. You know what I mean? And every time he's trying to say something, y'all see that at some point, he was just quiet. He was just quiet. And after he said something, he would just say, it's a mess, it's a mess, it's a mess. Because he himself knows that he did not come with the fact. He knows that what President-elect Donald Trump just said, that he finally agrees to, that it's going to be hard for the price of groceries to come down. You know what I mean? And that was not what he said on the campaign. What do you guys think? I think all politicians, they're going to tell the voters what they want to hear, why they are campaigning. It is when they get elected that they are going to be faced with the reality. You know what I mean? But I'm still holding on to, because yes, even though Donald Trump says he's going to put tariffs on some goods coming from Mexico and Canada, I think he's going to adjust. You know what I mean? They are just playing tough right now. I think by the time he sees that this is going to affect him, yeah, he's not coming back to run again, but it's going to affect the Republicans. I believe that he is going to change course again by not putting the tariffs on Mexico and on Canada. But we don't know what we don't know. Until we see what happened, that's when we're going to know what's going to happen. We are just, imagine, like, is it possible for him to actually go on with the tariffs? That's going to blow back on the promises that he made that the groceries price is going to come down. What do you guys think? Let's continue the conversation down there in the comment section. Do y'all think Donald Trump going to go ahead with the tariffs? And do y'all think he's going to realize that putting that much of tariffs to Canada and Mexico going to affect him and affect the Republicans for them to go against their promises while they were campaigning? I will catch up with you guys later. Y'all see it, that these two were ready to debate. And I think it's an healthy debate. What do you guys think? If you haven't subscribed, please do not forget to subscribe at the end. We will love you to join the growing community. And to my return subscribers, I say thank you. Bye for now.